Hello, on this rainy Veterans Day observed, November 12th, 2018. I know that you're not supposed to necessarily say the date, but I like that. I'm a historian type. And I'll try to keep my eyes up like this in my car doing my 5 to 10 minute video. So I'm really enjoying communicating with colleagues, companions, and contributors. And so today I want to talk about Anton Zeilinger. He's a quantum information physicist. And then never say never. That's the plan for right now in the parking lot of a Safeway. So my wife's at home watching things. I don't want to bother her. But I do have the information literacy action processor, which is like I'll think of it, the processor in a computer, the chip, I'll think of it. It's 3 letters. Anyway, Anton Zeilinger is another foundation of my developing this series, this to see if I can deliver valuable content, music and talk and discussion and thoughts for food, like your daily meal of information, starting possibly in January. And when you're talking are like commas, not exactly parallel, but similar. Anyway, here I talked about, well, I know I need to go over this, but it doesn't work very well. So when I'm talking about quantum information physicist Anton Zeilinger in Austria, I will refer to this at some point, even though I'll do it left-handed. Anyway, it's starting to come together. I'm starting to define what I would offer that you could only get on my channel. And the combination of all those things, teacher, coach, beltway in the backyard, growing up in a deep state neighborhood in D.C., suburbs of D.C., and the information literacy, and did I say music? I probably did. Anyway, and music, no, I didn't say that. All right, so, and now for something completely different. That is going to be part of my videos, maybe not every time, but that's going to be a big part of it, and that's borrowing from Monty Python, and now for something completely different. Never say never, but you just said it. So you said what you said never to say, and so what is that phrase really referring to? It's referring to when we say never and we're wrong. So accuracy. Oh, okay, this is this one. All right, good. I'll go over this. I thought this was the other page that I have. So, yeah, well, being accurate, but never say never. You want to, it's probably on one of these. It's, what would it be? Pontificating, where you really know, and something so passionate, never, but then you were wrong. It's rare. Never is rare, although it's a neutral word. So never will, what was it? World War I was the war to end all wars. Never again. And man, I gotta go. I gotta itch my nose. I'll figure out a way so I don't have to do that. Sherry. And I do appreciate that. I know you, I think you said you perform, and when you get up to perform, that the face starts to itch. So anyway, so what is it really? Rarely say never, or be careful when you say never, if we're trying to be accurate, like double A to double C to double R. And so in the positive, never again, you're wrong about that, about there was war after that. So be careful and really think it through when you say never, because does apply. For example, in neutral, this isn't a bad or good use of it, but a neutral one is, there never again is there going to be a machinish and malakadura. because I just made that up. So there's never again going to be a Macronuclear. See, I couldn't even say it. So there's never going to be that again. And then never will. I can't think of one that's on the positive side that is also true. All right, but it deals with eternity. We're caught between eternities, going to go to heaven to hell, etc., etc. Book of Revelations, end of days. All right, so my story, Anton Zeilinger. An important part of my information literacy and teaching critical thinking was 1999 when I exchanged emails with Anton Zeilinger. So I was online reading about what he was researching, and I emailed him. And I mean, I looked it up and didn't think I'd necessarily get a response, but put it out there, and he responded, basically saying that's exactly what I'm studying. And he was excited that I could see what he was trying to learn and trying to figure out. And it had to do with bits and the foundation, the fundamental blocks of information. And does information have meaning without us? Or do we put meaning into the bits, the letters, the whatever makes up language, etc.? And that was exciting. Then around 2006, I know I contacted him about something else. And then when I was writing the book that's based on this, this book right here, which I have to work out getting the royalties on this also, because where I publish it is moving to a different publisher and it's in a transition point. But Anton Zeilinger is in this book, and his quote, and that's when I emailed asking if I could use a quote of his, and through his assistant, he said, absolutely. It is operationally impossible to separate reality and information. Professor Anton Zeilinger, quantum information physicist. So that's a quote in this book. The headline was information literacy is dead. That was a speech by Paul Zurkowski, and then he said, long live information, of course. So anyway, that concept. So if you come up with quarks or, protons, whatever, the atom at one point was the smallest unit, the building block of nature. But everything has a blueprint. Everything is made up of information. So I think that's what he's saying. And he says it's his own idea. He hasn't proved it. It's his theory. But that would make information as the most fundamental part of reality. Because anything you come up with, the scientists in the future determine, that's the smallest particle, and that's what the universe is made up of. That thing has a blueprint. That thing has information that decides what it is, like for us, DNA, that kind of thing. All right, so did I touch upon? I think I did. So, Veterans Day, no man, no madness, though their sad power may prevail, can possess, conquer my country's heart, they rise to fail. She is eternal, long before nations' lines were drawn. When no flags flew, when no army stood, my land was born. And you ask me why I love her, through wars, death, and despair. She is the constant, we who don't care. And you wonder, would I leave her? But how? I cross over borders, but I'm still there now. My land's only borders lie around.